Shuckalaka kapow. How's it going, old schoolers? You are kicking it old school with Russell J.S., and I am your host, Russell J.S. Oh, happy Saturday on this really grim and dreary Saturday afternoon in Southwest Florida. I mean, the weather is just really clammy and rainy. Hold on, let me just shut that off for a sec. The weather's really rainy out. I mean, well, that's what you get for living down here in Florida. I mean, don't get it twisted. You want to move down here? I still to this day, it's been nearly 40 years. Still to this day, I cannot understand why my mother and father chose to move us from New Jersey down here. I mean, yeah, you get, year round, you get nice weather. But in the summertime, which is almost over, I mean, you just get this rainy season that, I mean, the weather, let's just put it this way. The weather is very extremely bipolar down here in Florida. I mean, in the summertime, it could be nice and, sunny out. One day you're ready to go to the pool or to the beach. And then the next day, and then the next minute, there you are, splash around the pool, clouds form, and it pours down buckets for the moment and just ruins your pool time. But what I want to talk about on Kicking It Old School, you see, it has been a year since we went on our mystery trip and I took you to Disney World and Universal. But, well, not so much Universal, but I came to the understanding why I wasn't having a good time. Probably because of the fact that not only was I by myself, but it was really hot. It was, I was almost dehydrated and just those long lines at Universal. But the thing is, I was just thinking to myself a few nights ago before I went to bed. And I thought to myself, you know what? I just turned 47 this past July, which was a month ago. I just had my 47th birthday, and I'm like, wow, I'm a true old schooler. I'm about to, in 3 more years, I'm going to be 50. And I can't believe it's been a year since I went and took that trip up to Orlando by myself, that little social experiment. And I thought to myself, I was looking at videos on YouTube of Universal Studios in Hollywood, Disneyland in Anaheim, California, Knott's Berry Farm, and Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain. And I thought to myself, you know what? In 3 years, I'm going to be 50. And I decided I have a goal for the next 3 years. That goal is I'm going to go up to California for 5 days. And I'm going to venture out. Because, all my life, since I was 5 years old, I always wanted to see the original Disneyland. I mean, I've been to Disney World in Orlando probably more times than I can count on both my hands and feet. And, I've been to the Magic Kingdom so many times and Epcot Center so many times. I could probably walk it blindfolded. But, I want to do something because it's been a bucket list item of mine for quite a while. I'm going to fly up to California for my 50th birthday. And you know what I'm going to do? Now, like I said, I always wanted to see the original Universal Studios and the OG Disneyland. But I'm going to check out 4 bad Oscars of theme parks. Now, of course, first things first, when I get to California, like, let's say I take an early flight from Fort Myers to LAX. Let's say the plane takes off from Fort Myers approximately like at 8:30. Now, I'm probably going to end up with I'll probably end up in a layover. I'll probably land like, say, who knows, Atlanta, Jackson, Mississippi, Dallas, Fort Worth, or heck, even Phoenix. just for like an hour or so layover. Because you know how some of these long flights are, some of these airlines are, when you got a destination from one place to the next, some of them will land in other places of the country, in other states, just so they can go ahead and they can, they could go ahead and they could switch flight crews, swap out planes, things like that. And I had decided on what I would do, for this, because this is going to be a pretty penny. Now, in 3 years, I hope to get all my credit cards paid off. I got only 2 credit cards to my name, but I'm going to get them all paid off in 3 years. And then when the time is somewhat near, I'm going to go ahead and make my reservations, my purchases. And I went over on the internet, and I'm going by today's, prices of the things I'm going to need, because I'm going to need a car rental. I'm going to need airfare. I'm going to need a car rental. I'm going to need accommodations for lodgings. And I'm also going to have to pay for my admissions. So let's go ahead and check out the bad Oscar prices that I've written down. Now, bear in mind, this is today's standard. So, things can change by 2028. So let's go over this, shall we? Okay. First off, my airfare. Well, now this is roughly around numbers, okay? I'm going to go with Southwest Airlines. So for a round trip from Fort Myers to LAX will cost roughly right now around $350 just for me. And my hotel accommodations, I'm going with Holiday Inn. I'll be looking at $575 for 5 days. And I'd go with Enterprise Car Rental to get an economy car, maybe something like Road Trip, or maybe say a Toyota Camry. For 5 days, that'll cost me $200. So looking at those figures, I'm looking at, well, here's the thing. For the airfare and the hotel accommodations is going to be $925. And for the car rental, you add the car rental, which is $200, is going to cost me $1,125. Now, admission, I checked out admission for all the theme parks I want to do. Now, I got Magic Mountain on there because not only do I want to go on some crazy rides, but I would also like to see where Chevy Chase and the Griswolds were at. Because if you remember, Magic Mountain played the part of Wally World in National Lampoon's Vacation. So I know the Colossus ride, which is that big white roller coaster, is no longer there. But, they have other roller coasters. And let's see, first day, when I'm first there, now here's the thing. By the time I arrive in LA, like I said, if my plane takes off from Fort Myers, say around roughly at 8:30 a.m., by the time I get into LA, it's still going to be morning. It'll be right here in Florida, it'll be already in the afternoon. Because right now, for instance, right now it's 3:22 p.m. Our time right now in the afternoon. In California, I think it's still like, I don't know, probably about 11 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, give or take. So, probably by the time I arrive into Cali, it'll probably be still like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Now, here's the thing. Knott's Berry Farm, I hear a lot about. Adult admission right now is $59.99 for one. So that'll be the first place I'll go to. And then the next, maybe I'll go there when I arrive, just unwind at the hotel a bit. And then after that, the next day, I may go to Magic Mountain, which admission is $45. And, I'll just spend the day at Wally World. First one's here, Griswold. And also, Magic Mountain also played itself in the 1978 TV movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. And let's see, Universal Studios Hollywood for one adult, I'm looking roughly around $159 for the day. And let's see, last but not least, this will be before I leave to go home, the night before I go home, Disneyland. Right now, if I was to order my tickets online for all this, $104 for Disneyland. Now, roughly with all these figures, this adventure right here in itself is going to cost altogether $367.99. And with an estimated all-around grand total of $1,492.99. Now, one of the things I'll do, like I said, I'll get all my credit cards paid off, my two credit cards paid off, and I'll go ahead and I'll order in advance, get my rental car, get my hotel accommodations, my airfare, and my admissions to the park. And what I will do is, I will have it where I'm going to leave. See, my birthday is going to be July 8th. And what'll happen is I'll go not exactly my exact birthday, but probably the following week. I'll take vacation off from work and I'll go ahead and trek on out to California. But that's one of the things I'm planning. I'm also coming back from the public library to pick up 2 DVDs. I'm not really going to watch these, but it's going to be for a review. I'm also putting on Kickin' It Old School, movie franchises that should have quit while they were ahead. And that's going to be some real good stuff coming up. And I've also got some album versus album, track by tracks in the works. I've got a comparison where I'm going to compare the original Ghostbusters to the original Beetlejuice. So remember, if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit a like, subscribe, leave comments down in the box below, and tell me what your goal vacation would be. All right, why don't you put that down in the comments. Tell me what you think of what I'm planning. But as always, this is the end of the video. It's starting to pour down rain, so I want to head home. As always, your old pal Russell J.S. I wish for you to keep it real and keep it fresh. Keep kicking it old school. Listen to killer music of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and of course back to the 60s too. Some cool TV shows, old school TV shows, old school movies. Play some Atari, play some Nintendo, play some Sega Genesis. And as always, Godspeed. May the force be with you, and shuckalaka kapow.